You know, it's easy to forget that this is actually a save game of mine that actually has a living world in it where I have a space station that I need to actually resupply with important things like food stuff. So it's hard to forget this when you're playing. So guys, this is Malkuth1974 coming back at you another episode of Asteroid or Bust. Like I said, we need to launch a vessel. This is a food resupply mission to my space station that is orbiting Kerbal right now. And we're not going to really go through the whole launch. We're just going to launch up, kind of bring you a little things that are going on in the world right now as we plan for the Class E asteroid capture. We'll get this guy up and going. Everything's a little bit sped up right now. This is post-commentary explaining of what's going on. I use TAC life support, so we are going to be adding some food supplies to the station. There are 2 Kerbals currently stationed on the station, and they definitely need to be fed while we do these long mission times of fast forwarding to get to these asteroids that we're trying to get. So we can't forget about these guys, and well, that won't be so good. So we'll just kind of jump ahead a little bit here. And we are going to hopefully get the intercept. I actually intercepted this right on the money. I still haven't even evened out my orbital orbit yet. I'm just basically capturing him right at launch. It was I've been pretty good at that lately. It's not too difficult anymore for me. This vessel had plenty of fuel in it to get to the vessel, and the actual pod is not powered by any engines. It's all RCS powered, so once we lose this pod we will be able to get our vessel over there. I kind of don't want to leave this in space either, so I might be turning this around here and going, well, you know what, I'm going to deorbit the actual intermediate rocket stage here. Hopefully I did get pretty close. I still have plenty of fuel, don't I? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to definitely deorbit this. So anyway, yeah, the International Space Station is, I always call it that for some reason, or Kerbal International Space Station, and it's been up here for a long time. It actually has an arm piece that's connected it, so it's a little bit crooked. It's like the International Crooked Space Station, so it's kind of neat. I kind of kept it just for the giggles of it, and we'll get the RCS to get us over here, and we'll dock up with this vessel, and we will get the next mission on the way. Of course, this is a mission in Asteroid or Bust. The whole space program is pretty important. I do have a Kethane mining operation that we have not yet seen on Minmus. That's going good. And now we can see the station coming into view. See how quick I can get this. I do have this in fast forward, so it does seem like I'm like doing it at super speed. Yeah, it's a little bit slower in actual real gameplay terms, but post editing you can speed things up to make them a little bit more interesting. And as you can tell, the station has a little crookedness to it. That's what I was talking about. The Crooked International Space Station. I don't think that'll fit though. We'll just call it the International Space Station Mark III. Yeah, it's like the 3rd version I've had of this in this game. With all the updates and stuff, mods and stuff were not added or taken out, and I had to decommission certain parts of the vessel. It has a lot of fuel on it, so it does work well. And we see over there, that is the actual orbiter that brings the astronauts up. So without further ado, let's actually go to the launch, where we're going to launch our new super vessel to intercept a Type 3 asteroid. That is an orange tank that lifter is trying to get us up there in. And I'm not quite sure what I'm doing here, but I'm trying to make it look cool. It's not working out very well. Screw it. We'll just go right back to it. I should get that Kerbal cam thing that makes everything look cooler. And we jump a little bit ahead, just showing that we're getting this whole orange tank up into space. We lost the main launch stage. It's going bye-bye, and now we're on the intermediate stage, or the other part. And now we're just sort of getting ready to go into orbit and get things done. Get everything nice periapsis height of, looks like we're at 99. I went a little high on this one, didn't I? That's alright. Who cares? We'll get it there, and we will hopefully continue on our way. We lost that stage, and now I'm actually using a little bit of the orange tank. Now, of course, I'm trying to capture a Class E asteroid, and I do have a target in mind, but keep in mind that that engine is part of the A's parts pack, and at the time I was thinking maybe that's fine to move a Class E asteroid. And here's the asteroid we're trying to capture. We just jumped to the station here. We're going to kind of fast forward until we get the actual asteroid into a Kerbal sphere of influence. We're going to find out. Hopefully it's going to come down, and it does. It comes down basically right where I want it. So I'm going to get this all set up to intercept it. I love these new maneuver nodes, how you can set certain things up. I mean, I did have to set this up a little bit more than what we saw in the video, but you know, again, we can cut things and do all this interesting stuff to get all these going. You know, it is kind of a pain in the ass to actually intercept these asteroids. I think this is like the 7th time I've done it. Not on this particular asteroid, but just trying to do an intercept. Because you got to kind of plan it exactly right, where the asteroid's in a certain position in you know, relation to Kerbal, and your vessel needs to actually intercept it. And I'm getting it close there. I know if I keep doing this, or I keep doing that, or I keep doing this, it'll eventually get there, and we'll be able to actually, you know, start trying to capture this asteroid. But who the hell knows? And of course, I totally forgot to put any sort of mission from Mission Controller into this. So actually, this is costing me money out of my own dang it all budget. So I will not make any money off of this at all. Even when I do capture this Class E asteroid, not thinking how big they actually are. It's gonna take, well, we'll see. We'll see what goes on. It'll be a surprise. I'm pretty sure after those in the know that have been messing with Class E asteroids took a look at the vessel I launched, they already know. They already know. They already know what's going to happen. So we're just going to do a little bit of a fast forward here. Hopefully it works out well. It's a little dark because we're on the dark side of Kerbal. And we're going to, well, I did lose a little bit of my, seems like I did. If I remember correctly, I kind of went back into the atmosphere a little bit when I did this burn, and I was just testing how long I would have to do the burn for, so that's why I turned the engine on for a little bit. And when we finally get there to our maneuver node where we can actually launch, or actually thrust with our engines, wow, that just didn't sound very appetizing right there. I'm not very hungry right now. Okay, here we go. You know, it's kind of interesting how NASA actually wants to capture an asteroid. If you actually looked on, just do a search on it if you haven't actually looked it up yet. They don't plan on doing it any way that it's done in Kerbal Space Program. The concepts I've seen online are basically using some sort of netting to wrap around the asteroid and sort of pull it into a orbit of our own moon on the planet Earth. It's an interesting concept. What was their planned time of this? I believe it's 2024, I believe, and they're saying it's a preset to landing on Mars. I'm not quite sure how that actually works out, and you know, it's all pretty neat stuff going on in the space world right now. Of course, we have the issue with Russia going on right now. We're all getting all hot and bothered over what's going on over there, and it's being words spread around, and he said, she said, and Russians are now saying they don't want to continue the ISS past 2020. They've been talking to the Chinese, trying to get the Chinese on board with them to work some space missions out, since the U.S. doesn't seem to want to work with the Russians anymore. And, well, you know, that's just politics. Every time politics gets involved, it's always some kind of situation. And it's really too bad because, you know, and it's, you know, it's kind of good also. I've been reading a lot of the space forums, and people are saying, oh, it's going to start a new space race. It's going to be great for the space programs. But, you know, I actually, you know, was alive somewhat during those times, and the last thing on our minds back then was a space race. We're more worried about, you know, being nuked into an annihilation, because it wasn't really a space race, it was a arms race. You know, who could have the biggest toys. And, you know, it's just one of those situations, and it's sad. We should actually kind of work together to do the stuff in space, because that's what's going to take. It's going to take a whole world to do the stuff. Now that that's over with, we're not going to get into that. There is the asteroid. Whew, wow, I had to fill that whole time spot there, and I think I did all right. I'm no Scott Manley, so I can't give you all the fine, detailed analysis of what everything means, but I think I did all right there. You know, and I actually like watching the Chinese space program and the stuff they do. It's actually very, very interesting to me. It's kind of interesting to watch somebody else other than your own country in the United States try to do this stuff, even though they butchered our own space program. But it's nice to see, like, India and China and Japan and, you know, the European Space Program do all their stuff. Speaking of the European Space Program, they will be actually capturing their own, well, it's not really an asteroid, it's a comet, and that is going pretty well. And of course, next year we're going to be looking at Pluto with the New Horizons thing. All this space stuff is going to be happening pretty cool. But, you know, ESA with their, what is it, Rosetta Stone satellite, going to be capturing that. That's going to be so cool. I can't wait to see that. That's going to be great. It's going to be kind of like watching Kerbal Space Program, the little lander. You guys ever look at the lander they're going to put on there? A little tiny little thing. And of course, you know, there's not much gravity on an asteroid or a comet. So anyway, here we go. So we've captured it. Now look at the size comparison of this asteroid to my ship. And I've already started to think, well, am I going to be able to move this thing? I'm already having an issue trying to turn it, because to even get this into orbit, I'm going to have to change things around here. And let's see. So it didn't seem like that was a lot to put into orbit, but when your vessel has something like 2,000 delta V left by itself, and we'll see it here in a second when I pull up the vessel information, and once you attach to this asteroid, your delta V drops down to something like 79. That pretty much tells you the difference in size between my vessel and this asteroid, which is also going to tell me in the future here when I start screaming at the screen, why isn't this thing turning? Why is it bouncing around like that? I'm going to need a much, 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 much bigger ship to be moving any type of Class E asteroid. Something that's going to have to be constructed in space. Something I can't just launch in one launch like I did with this thing. Multiple types of things. Maybe have to go to the forums to find out how people are actually capturing these Class E asteroids, because this little thing ain't doing it. Of course, you know, a couple episodes ago we did capture Class C, so I technically kind of did the whole precept for this series, which was capture an asteroid. But I want an E, and we're gonna have to set up for an E, which means I'm gonna have to set up, I'm gonna have to do some extra missions and mission controller here to actually get this to work. And I'm still trying to get this thing lined up. I'm kind of using physical time acceleration to turn this thing around, and it's bouncing around everywhere. Of course, you want to get it as close to the node as you can to limit amount of delta V you can use, but I'm having a hell of a time trying to turn this thing. And of course, as always, I forgot to put RCS on this vessel. So yes, I actually captured an asteroid without RCS. I'm actually gotten pretty good at that, because that's my forte into space. That's what I'm famous for. Always forgetting the RCS on the vessel. Don't ask me why. It's just one of those things I do. So yeah, this is like I'm pretty much already out of energy, so it's not gonna happen. I even try to kind of rewind it here to see if I can do something a little bit different. You know, it's kind of cheating, but it's not sort of cheating. I just want to see. I'm testing what it's actually costing me. Now that I have Flight Engineer up and I'm taking a look at it, I'm trying to figure out what the hell I'm going to actually need for Delta V. The mission's already failed, so it doesn't matter if I just restart it. I'm still not going to be able to put it into an orbit of Kerbin. I'm trying to get a little bit closer to actually getting it on the node this time. I'm trying to figure out how to turn this. Maybe if I had RCS, it'd be a little bit easier. I mean, it's hard to tell. I can't test it because I don't have RCS right now. So definitely the next few episodes, we're gonna have to start I have $1.7 million in my mission controller, my budget, but of course I have other things I have to plan, and I've already spent a good, $500,000 on trying to capture an asteroid, probably even a little bit more of that. And I've only been successful on one mission where I've actually made, maybe my money back on it after everything. This one might, this last mission might, this one right here might have brought me over the top a little bit. But, it's basically fuel and tanks. So that's what I've been launching into space. So it doesn't add up too much in this game. And as you can tell, if you look at my Delta V right now, what it says on there, that is 21. 21. This vessel literally had 2,000 when I captured the asteroid just by itself. So that tells you a little something. And I will definitely have to do my research on how to capture another one of these episodes. But I'm going to change it up for the next few episodes. We're going to go on to some more mission controller missions. I'm going to show you some new missions from the contract system 0.68, some of the different updates to it, and we'll get back to putting a vessel together to capture this asteroid. But for now, guys, this is Malkuth1974. Thanks for watching. Subscribe, comment, and rate. It really helps out the channel a lot. This is Malkuth. See you later.